Libra Collective, how are you doing? Is that Viva Viagra or Viva Las Vegas? Viva Las Vegas. We have Temperance. That did make me think of Viva Viagra, Little Blue Pill from Love and Other Drugs. Jake Gyllenhaal is a Sagittarius. Anne Hathaway is a Scorpio, I believe. Pretty sure. With the Hangman, the Emperor. Alright. Did I shuffle that 5 times? Or was that one in reverse? Balance, in all things balance. I have my balance blend diffusing right now. You are the scale, so this could be about you balancing your own chart, you balancing your own, I mean, that's what the divine path is all about. It's about you, the two individuals balancing their own ingredients, right? Same ingredients, different recipes. We're all made of stardust, baby. So it's like we all have every modality, every element in our chart in some capacity. And so to become the grand divine alchemist, the magician, which is mercurial, we just came out of Mercury retrograde. It's the throat chakra. It's associated with Virgo, Gemini, and Taurus. So you could be dealing with a Virgo, Gemini, or a Taurus. I didn't turn the light on in here. I mean, I think you guys can see me okay, but it's just funny I don't have the light on. So it could be dealing with some moon energy. We did have the Hangman popping out. We have the High Priestess here, so Pisces, and the full Aries Aquarius. All right, so you have a lot of major arcana, and then we have the Ace of Cups in reverse, which is you filling up your own cup. Now, you guys are from Venus. You're ruled by Venus. You share that, you are the Empress, you know, you share that with Taurus. You share Venus with Taurus. And you guys are all about love, right? Libras are all about love. I call them like the cheerleaders of love in the zodiac. They are like kind of like Charlotte in Sex and the City, right? She's always rooting for love. She's the believer of love. But the thing is, she's very fixed in what she wants and the life that she wants, and the idea of love. And so you could be too fixed, or maybe not fixed enough, because fixed earth energy is about it's about the discipline, the determination, the staying decisive. Now you guys are very open to love. You guys are very open to a lot of types of love, and that can get you into a place where if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything, right? That can get you guys into trouble, because you can be so open and in your air energy and that cardinal energy, right? You're a cardinal air sign. You could be not getting into your water energy or your earth energy. You could be too much in your masculine energy. So it makes you very carefree, which is great. It's very attractive to others because they feel like they can come to you, and you're not going to necessarily, you're not possessive, right? You're not possessive or jealous typically. You're sort of like, whatever people want to do, they're going to do. But then when you apply that to yourself, right, it can become carelessness. So you can go from being carefree to careless because you're not protecting your boundaries, because you haven't set any, because that comes from being in a fixed energy, being in a more feminine energy of going within, going into that hermit mode, going into that mercurial, introspective, analytic mode, which we had Virgo, Pisces, and Gemini, right? Mutable signs, and we have Temperance here popping out. Well, it came out, it was popping out, now it came out. Pop goes the weasel, which Temperance is the owl. I just did the reading for Aquarius because I thought the Native American zodiac for Aquarius was, or I thought the Native American zodiac for Sagittarius was the otter, because Sagittarius seems very playful and like they would be in that energy, right? And Libras have that too, that kind of like light, fairy-like playfulness to them. But that's because Temperance, and see they've got this triangle here. The mutable signs are all triangles. The mutable signs have mutable modality is water and air, and then whatever their leading sign is, whatever the top of that triangle is their leading sun element, sun sign element. So that would be, for Sagittarius, it's fire leading the way, but then the supplementary corners of that triangle, maybe you're a geometry teacher, but those like cornerstones or supplementary angles, I don't know if that's what they're called. It's been a long time since I've done geometry. But this could be about like I keep thinking divine geometry, but it's like geometry in nature. What's the term for that? It'll come to me when I'm not thinking about it. But maybe maybe you're getting into that. Maybe that's something that intrigues you, is like seeing the symmetry and the geometry of nature, or maybe that's the advice, is getting into that. But anyway, Sagittarius, their supplementary angles are water and air, supplementing that fire. Now, because fire is a masculine, it's the most overtly masculine element, and earth is the most overtly feminine, and then mutable with air and water are, air is masculine, water is feminine, but they are kind of the androgynous, ambiguous ones. They are the ones who are sort of why can I not think of terms? Why can't I think of thoughts right now? But when you are leading with fire, it's going to be probably easier for you to associate your moves with swords energy, okay? Which it keeps Sagittarius in a masculine energy, right? And then their cups often get forgot. Now with Libra, the same thing, all right? Masculine or feminine, male or female, right? You are a masculine sign because you have fire supplementing your air, your airhead. You guys can often be associated with being airheads too, and not necessarily in a maybe you were called stupid, so maybe that is triggering to hear that term, or maybe it was something that was, maybe you don't feel very book smart or intelligent in that way, because you guys are sort of up in your own ethereal la 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 land, right? Which makes you that open, which makes you that carefree, fairy-like energy and entity. right? You're like a little fairy-like entity in people's lives, and they appreciate that about you. But you could be, maybe easily manipulated because of that, because you believe in the potential of people, because you are expecting people to be unconditional and carefree and light as a feather, stiff as a board. Okay. Like I wanted to get those out. So yeah, you could be distracted by something that is not emotionally fulfilling, because you're too much in that masculine energy of your air and your fire, because you are sort of on your own path. But if you're charging down your own path, you might be charging down the wrong path, right? You might think you're doing your own thing, but you are not on the divine path, right? You might be on a karmic path that looks very similar to your divine path. Maybe you travel a lot, all right? But this is like needing to come down to earth, right? Tap into your feminine aspect, right? And if cups are difficult for you, as they are for Sagittarius, as they are for the masculine signs, cups can be very difficult to get into. Emotions with this Ace of Cups in reverse. But if you're looking for divine union, right, you're looking for either you are trying to get into the masculine energy of the King of Cups. It's maybe like the last king you need to collect to be an emperor, right? You're in pre-emperor energy, or you're the feminine and you are waiting to attract somebody who's in their cups energy. You could be dealing with a water sign, right? And that could be very foreign to you. That could be unusual to you, but water and earth are the feminine signs, so they're going to be more into receiving, and air and fire can be sort of evasive. Now, that is not saying that water signs and earth signs are not evasive or emotionally withholding or whatever. So, yeah, that's not the truth. But that could be the situation that you're dealing with. You could be evading your emotions. So if emotions are hard for you to get into, if cups you're finding that difficult, it may be easier for you to come into earth energy, right? Because you can just kind of look at your companion sign, your planetary companion, which is Taurus, right? You can get into earth energy, which is fixed energy, and they are the most overtly, Aries is the most overtly masculine, and Taurus is the most overtly feminine, because they're fire, cardinal fire, and fixed earth, right? So it's fire, fire, earth, earth. And we have the Fool here, all right? And this is Aries and Aquarius. I had a thought there, but it doesn't really make sense if I say it, because I was going to say, I'll just say it and then you can tell me if it makes sense. You can take what you will from it. Excuse me. I was going to say, you can, because you have that cardinal supplementary, your polar sign is Aries, right? So you can also segue into that if that's easier, because once you are on, because you might be in a place that's sort of ambiguous, and sort of like an in-between, right? If you go to the fixed end of the pole, of one side of the pole, right, which is your polarity, you can maybe segue into Aries, and then Aries, being the most overtly masculine, would be on the pole of Taurus, right, as the most overtly feminine, right? So maybe those are a couple ways that you can get into that energy. Is if it's easier for you to get into your fire, maybe get into your come out of your air, right? Because fire, needs earth, right? It starts on the ground. It needs kindling. It needs fuel. If you have too much air with a fire, that's not good. It's gonna be like a forest fire, right? It's gonna burn your whole environment down. It's gonna consume you. and your whole world. That's intense, but but also if I think of like Fire in the Sky, which is a movie about alien abduction. Is it Travis, is his name Holder? I'm watching a show where the character's name is Holder. So I don't know that his name is Holder. That could be the character that I'm thinking of. But he's a Sagittarius, the show. Joel Kinnaman in The Killing. And then September 22nd could be a relative date. You could be a cusper. So yeah, you could be struggling with like being on the cusp of Virgo, being on the cusp of Scorpio. And so maybe you're not totally in your energy. Maybe you're not totally in Libran energy because, and maybe readings don't really, the readings for Libra don't always resonate with you because you feel more associated with Scorpio or Virgo. Those are your sandwich signs, right? So maybe you are, yeah, maybe you're kind of like too much on one end of the spectrum. So it's like maybe, I don't know, we have Temperance and the Fool. So Temperance is about coming into a triangle. It's giving yourself that additional support of another supplementary angle versus being just like a straight line, especially if that straight line is fire and air. So if you can come into your fire energy with Temperance, right? If it's easier for you to come into that fire energy, and or if you are dealing with a fire sign, maybe you're dealing with a like overtly masculine individual, and if you are in your masculine energy, then you're not going to really attract, you're going to attract somebody who is in their feminine energy, right? Because like attracts like, but opposites also attract, right? So it's, you're going to, say you're a female in your masculine energy and you're trying to attract a masculine male. Well, if you're in your masculine energy, then you're holding that place, you're holding that energetic space and frequency of a masculine, so you're going to attract a more feminine male. And so that, if that's not what you're looking for, then you need to come into your feminine energy. And vice versa, if you're a male that's in your feminine energy, then you're going to attract a masculine female, right? So, and if you associate with just the energetic placement of it, if you're the divine masculine and you know that you are the divine masculine, but you know that you're in your feminine energy, then you're not in your emperor energy, right? You're not in the divine masculine place. You're not the true alchemist of your journey. You're allowing secular, lower vibrations, shadows to rule you. And Temperance is all about discovering what those are and then strengthening your resilience to them, right? We can't eliminate the ego. We need the ego as part of our instruction manual on how to navigate this earthly plane, this terrestrial world, like extraterrestrials, something with aliens. You could feel alienated. Maybe you really have a fascination with aliens. But yeah, there is something, you are like extraterrestrial. You're like a UFO. You're out there. You are, let me see. The Moon and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, the Moon. If you're way out there in the Moon energy, right, you might not be, check your Mars placement as well. The song by Talk, what if I run away to Mars? Would you find me in the stars? Would you meet me in the end if I run out of oxygen? Take a deep breath and let it out. So yeah, you could be consumed by your Swords energy, because we have major arcana here. These are things that are unavoidable. These are things that are coming in whether you like it or not, which we typically don't like it if we're in our ego and we're trying to control things, right? Now, Libra is notorious for being a bit manipulative, low-key manipulative, and they like to control things. They feel more comfortable when they are in a place that is managed. But they are in a masculine energy of being cardinal. Cardinal signs are the leaders, right? And so we have the Page of Pentacles here and the Moon. So that's with the Fool and Temperance. Okay, there it is. So that's all about faith. That's all about relying on faith and allowing the universe to catch you. Whatever you believe source is, whatever nomenclature you give to source, maybe with that kind of geometry talk, you could be analyzing it from a more masculine place, which is more literal, physical, factual, right? But miracles are facts to believers, right? The unseen, a butterfly could be a fact, right? Signs and synchronicities are facts to those who believe in them. So if you believe in science and nothing else, then yeah, you're going to see a butterfly and be like, well, it's their migratory season, and that's the area that they're in, and something with the airflow and whatever. I'm a believer, so I'm like, a butterfly. Okay, so with the Fool and with the Page here, and this Ace of Cups in reverse, I feel like you need to get into that child fairy, like, maybe you were like, I'm not that person, I'm not up in my head. Maybe if you were kind of called a space cadet, maybe you were called like something, names that made you feel like get out of the clouds, get your head out of the clouds, focus. Maybe you were called by society and by the school system, which is very broken and unfortunately corrupt. You could have been called directly or indirectly stupid. And so maybe you got into a path, maybe you got into a path that was all about IQ, was all about resourcing knowledge, resourcing information that made you feel smarter. So maybe you got into a trade or something where you could be a know-it-all, where you could lock it down and say, I know this, and you can't call me stupid in this. I've got the experience, I've got the awards, right? Maybe you became like an athlete, doesn't matter. Maybe you became something that was very structured, very niche, in a way that was not aligned with your cups. It was not aligned with your belief system. It wasn't aligned with your spirituality. It wasn't aligned with you wanting to be in the clouds. So maybe your reluctance to feminine, earth, water energy is because when you were in that energy before, naturally as a child, you were told that that was wrong. You were gaslit into believing that you were wrong. You were manipulated. You believed others. You were kind of gullible. And you were tired of being made a fool of. And so maybe your ego is kind of set on being avoiding things that make you feel like a fool. Well, that's all love is going to do. Right? It doesn't mean that you're going to be a fool because you're going to be had or be manipulated or be taken advantage of, although I feel that that was the case for you in many scenarios. You were attracting the wrong person, the wrong energy. You were attracting something that was not actually compatible with you, but with law of attraction, that's what your energetic frequency was putting out. I did not close this closet door here all the way, and this crack is bugging the shit out of me. So yeah, I feel like maybe you were afraid of the dark with the moon here. You're afraid of the unknown, you're afraid of the dark. We're not afraid of being alone in the dark. We're afraid that we're not. right? Like, just like the water, that's like my greatest fear is dark water. It's not because of the water. I love the water. I love being in the water. I used to be in the water a lot growing up, and I loved it. It was my favorite place to be. But maybe your parents got divorced, or you had an absent father, and so you had to take on that leadership role. You had to take on a masculine role. But your inner child was never comforted or made to feel safe. And so, yeah, it's the monsters in the dark that you're afraid of. It's the shadows that love might bring up for you that you're afraid of. It's the unknown. It's the release, the let go, the that beautiful song in the movie Garden State by Frau, aka Imogen Heap, is Let Go. There's beauty in the breakdown is one of my favorite lyrics. And it's from that song. There's beauty in the breakdown. That's where you find love, right? You can't find someone to catch you if you're not willing to trust fall, right? And I want to believe X-Files Mulder. Mulder is a Leo. Well, David Duchovny's a Leo. I don't know what Mulder, the character, is. I believe he's a Leo. But we have the Queen of Wands here, the High Priestess. Maybe you're watching like alien movies. Garden State, Natalie Portman. I was thinking of Annihilation. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. It might be my favorite film, but I have so many nostalgic favorites that are placeholders. So Annihilation, it falls into like second and third, but it's because it's newer. It's newer than the ones that I've loved for decades. But you know how you have like a current obsession song, and then you have like your favorite song from childhood, or for instance, like my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. It's very nostalgic, but I rarely eat mint chocolate chip. I usually eat like cookie dough, cookies and cream, right? I eat usually cookie dough. Or the Tonight Dough, the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Dough one is so good. It's got like peanut butter cookie dough. It's got the Oreo cookie crisps in it, and then it's like caramel and chocolate ice cream. It's like everything. It's so good. So anyway, something with ice cream. Maybe you're, I'm really tapping into like thoughts of, I'll just give you my personal 28 on the clock there. I'll just give you my personal stuff because I feel like maybe you're mirroring that. Maybe you're mirroring Taurus energy. Maybe you're mirroring somebody. I mean, if you're from the same planet, if you're ruled by the same planet, if you're under the same sign, we're all connected. So it's like, tarot is, I'm not telling you what you're going through. I could read this reading and just name it for every single sign and bleep out the Libra and a variety of people are going to resonate with it, right? We know that. But with the water, I loved the water because my dad used to take me swimming and I felt safe with him. And then when my parents got divorced, I suddenly, and I didn't realize this until I started doing shadow work later, but I suddenly became terrified of the water. And I was like, it doesn't make sense. I used to grow up, I used to swim in the lakes, I used to, and I thought, well, maybe you just, as you get older, you get more fearful. You ride less rides, maybe you're just like, you just get more cautious as you get older. But then when I really looked at it, it's like, the time that I really became afraid of the water was because I didn't feel safe. I didn't have my dad there, who I thought could like beat up a shark or something, the Kraken, which he's a Gemini, and later he joked with me and said, well, I only have to be faster than you, I would have put you in front of the shark or whatever, like, so you could be dealing with a Gemini, you could be dealing with a mutable sign, you could be surrounded by mutable energy, which is kind of keeping you in that sort of ambiguous, open energy, which is really good for empaths. It's really good to have like a variety of energies, but when you're on the divine path, you have to be in a very fixed energy. You have to stay the course, and this takes a lot of temperance, right? It takes a lot of, like, see how they're filling their cup back and forth? It's a lot of solitary confinement. It's a lot of solitary energy. And so, like, if you are used to being very extroverted and very free and fun and all of that, but maybe you're struggling with feeling unsafe all of a sudden, and you're like, well, I don't understand why. I'm surrounded by people. The loneliest that you will ever feel is when you are in a room full of people who don't understand you or who aren't aligned with you. Doesn't mean that they're wrong, doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that they're not right for you. It means that they're not good for you. It's all relative, right? They're on a different path, and if you have found yourself to be gullible, or empaths can be quite gullible, which isn't stupid. It's because they see potential, they believe in the best in people, they hope for the best, they have faith, right? Faith will kick you in the ass. Hope will kick you in the ass sometimes, like, because if you have it in false idols, if you have it in the wrong people. But that's usually when you have the wounded bird syndrome, when you want to fix people, heal people, control what other people are doing, even if you're doing it with the best of intentions, it's avoiding something that needs to be healed within you, right? And I get this like sense of needing to annihilation is about aliens as well. So there's that alienation aspect. That's where I got off on the tangent about swimming, because mint chocolate chip ice cream. I used to go to the beach a lot. Maybe you're wanting to go to the beach. Maybe you're longing for the sea, the beach. You're longing for the water. You want to go to, if you have water around you, bodies of water, maybe you need to go there. Maybe you need to hydrate more, which now I'm saying that, my lips are getting dry. I'm going to drink some water. Maybe you're over explaining yourself too. Maybe you're talking too much. You're talking in your swords energy. You're like over communicating. Because you believe in somebody else, because you are surrounded by toxic people or people who are just not aligned with you, they're not compatible with you. You could be trying to like give advice and help them and explain yourself, like tell other people what you need and explain your love language, and it almost feels like a confession, like you're like pleading for someone to love you, you're pleading for someone to save you, to help you, to see your potential. But unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, however you look at it, it is what it is kind of thing. You have to save yourself. You have to fill your own cup, right? You have to fill your own cup. You have to be your own protector. And maybe you're like, I just don't fit here. I don't feel at home here. ET phone home. Like, I need to get somewhere else. And you could be waiting for somebody to come rescue you, your people, your person, your tribe. Maybe you're just waiting for them to come, get you. Somebody to get you. I feel like you feel misunderstood and nobody gets you. And you're like trying to explain that. The best thing that you can do is go silent. Not silent treatment. You're not being manipulative and like going silent on somebody so that they'll reach out to you, right? This isn't for a particular person. This is for yourself. Going silent, practicing vocal fasting, shutting up, and treating yourself well, right? Like, just close the floodgates, because I feel like you've been pouring into others so much that it's like, oh shit, my cup is completely empty. It's like with the ice cream, the blizzards, they used to do that. I don't know if they still do that, but they used to do that at was it Dairy Queen, where they tip the blizzards over and say like, look, it's our ice cream so thick it doesn't drip or whatever. I don't know. It was a gimmick that they did, but I feel like that's what you're kind of doing here. You're like, your water is so thick. It's like your water's frozen solid. It's made you cold, which I was getting with Aquarius as well. Right, it's kind of like frozen solid. All right, so there's a need to, and you're in this moon energy. It's like the Ice Age, right? And you need to thaw out. Encino Man, Brendan Fraser is also a Sagittarius. So yeah, a lot of Sagittarius energy, needing to kind of like get into, which is Jupiter, right? So maybe check your Jupiter placement and see what's going on there. Temperance, Sagittarius is also the crown chakra. So if you're talking right here, if this chakra is overflowing, right, then your higher chakras, your third eye, right, the High Priestess, the Pisces, Hanged Man, intuitive energy, dreams. Dreams are water. Pisces is water. The moon is water, right? You're not going to be able to tap into that because there's no flow up there, right? And then your crown chakra is how you download and you stay tapped into source, right? It's how the High Priestess / the High Priest, which is Taurus, the Hierophant, that's the masculine and feminine counterparts of the spiritual leaders, right? But see how she's blocking her heart with that moon face? She's like, mm-mm. And I accidentally burned this card with my sage. So like protection, right? You feel like there's a lot of fear here about opening your heart. So maybe don't open your heart to others. Maybe open your heart to yourself, right? So if you just sort of put a dam here, which the Native American zodiac for Taurus is the beaver, so maybe you need to put a little dam there. Shut your damn mouth. Yeah, dam it up a little bit, and then that way the water can flow, your blood can flow, your oxygen can flow, and get to your brain, right? Maybe doing like some inversions as well with the Hanged Man, also with the Ace of Cups in reverse. Maybe you need to like do some inversions, like some wall inversions, hang upside down. That also taps into the childlike energy. If you have kids, maybe like going on a playground, hanging on the monkey bars, right? Kind of hanging out with them, literally. and getting that blood flow, like getting the body used to that. Also, if you're not sleeping well, sleep is the only time that we really are horizontal in a resting place, right? In a resting situation, which is the Four of Swords here. This is resting. This isn't just being on your back for anything casual or any other purposes, but for yourself, filling your own cup, your own vessel. Oh man, all right. I'm on to it here, I get it. The Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So this is, and the High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, they're all looking this way, right? They're all looking in the same direction. Page of Pentacles is, I get sort of like Eight of Pentacles with this as well, which 8 is strength, it's mercurial, it's the magician, it's the infinity symbol, it's the person who works on their own cycle. And see, it's like you're maybe working on your own cycle and taking your time, being the Page of Pentacles, maybe not offering to other people, maybe not offering your Pentacles to other people. Like if you've worked so hard for that wellness and that balance, right? You are all about balance. So if you've worked for it and you're like, I have this little coin here, sir, and you're trying to give it to somebody else, then you're going to be, without any pentacles. So coming into that 8 of Pentacles, that self-work, continuing to work on your stability, your earth energy, because that's the only earth that I see here, right? Is the Page of Pentacles. So again, if water is intimidating, if you were very burned in the past, in your heart space, in your emotions, you were deceived, you were abandoned, you are fearful of that. Maybe you have a Pisces water sign father, right? Maybe you have a mutable sign father. Maybe you have something that, and you feel sort of like unprotected, and if you're always chasing that, if you're always looking for that, you might, you'll always be chasing, right? You're only going to attract runners because they're like, it's like dogs, right? They only want to like chase and play, right? This isn't a game of fetch here, right? This is just like throwing it to that dog that's like, runs out and then goes off somewhere else. This is, and with this moon here, you have the dog, the wolf, and this crustacean. So you have like Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio there. Wolves, something with the Pisces as well, the dogs, Cancer and Pisces. You might be seeing the woodpecker, it's the Native American zodiac for Cancer. The Native American zodiac for Pisces is the wolf, and the Native American zodiac for Scorpio is the snake. So yeah, maybe looking into your other zodiac signs, like finding out what your Chinese astrology is, right? What year are you? Because if you're struggling with the information that you have to heal this gaping heart wound that you have and fill your own cup, then you may, and it feels like a paternal wound, then you may, you may have to, it may be helpful for you to, totally spaced out there. It may be helpful for you to tap into some other elements, right? Maybe tap into some other signs, other synchronicities, maybe learning about, I thought I had it again. It's right there. The geometry, it's like cosmic, divine geometry, organic geometry, something like that, right? You're becoming the magician. You're really tapping into that mercurial energy. And so if you're pouring out, if you're giving from that place, it's going to be hard for you to work on it. It's going to be impossible for you to work on it. There. Page of Swords is watching now. I feel like if you're watching somebody else, 43 on the clock there, if you're watching somebody else, and you're trying to get information on somebody else, how you can change, how you can be different, right? This is a manipulation. This is being false, right? This is like, what's that movie where the guy learns everything about her? Is it 500 Days of Summer? Where he like learns about her, and like starts listening to the music that she listens to, starts like doing things to be more like her, to so they have stuff in common or whatever. And it's like, maybe if that resonates with you, like watch that movie and see how it turns out, right? So maybe something happened during summer, and you're realizing something that's going to empower you in autumn, All right. So the change of seasons, there's something with the change of seasons, the equinox, which is September 22nd. So yeah, because I feel like it's like you're trying to manipulate yourself or be something that you're not. And you've done that and you've seen how it works out. So this is you needing to come into a place where if you're going to be in a Page of Swords, right, the High Priestess, the Page of Pentacles, and this page are all looking in the same direction. Right, and this Fool is looking behind them. They're looking at this fish, right, again with Pisces imagery. They're looking at this sort of the past. The High Priestess is tapped into source, right? They use the third eye, and then they are associated with the High Priest, which uses the crown, right? And they both take temperance. They both take mastering their ego and knowing about their ego, right? Which is studying yourself. So instead, and I get this projector vibe, like maybe looking through old photos, maybe going down memory lane, nostalgia, really looking into your past, like sitting on that couch with yourself. Maybe you're going to be paying somebody, maybe you're going to be doing therapy, like conventional therapy, but I feel like this is you have all the tools to do this yourself as well. So if it feels out of your hands and you feel so overwhelmed with it, maybe seeking counsel, but this could just be you laying down on the couch in your own mind and having those conversations with yourself, asking yourself, like, what was your relationship like with your mother? How does that make you feel, Libra? You know, and having those conversations with yourself, because you guys don't typically like to divulge too much information to other people when it comes to your feelings, right? You might tell people, I need this, I need that, you know, acts of service or things that you, gifts, right? But like if you're talking about the love language, the 5 love languages, if you're talking about the love language of quality time, words of affirmation, things that like feed the little inner child, those things are usually withheld with Libra, right? With the air signs, they can be more analytical and logical and literal with their communication, where talking about how you feel, it's usually like, I don't know how I feel, I don't know, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna fly over here, la la la. And so there's that avoidant energy again. So maybe you don't want to talk to somebody else. It might help if you talk to somebody who is anonymous or unbiased, right? You can have like the most introspective conversations with a complete stranger on a park bench, right? And there are numbers and forums for that where you can go in anonymously. Maybe you can create a fake account. Maybe you can do something and not to watch somebody else. I feel like I have to remind some of you out there about that. But if you're going to be studying anybody, like study yourself. It's going to be it's going to give you the biggest payout, right? Energetically, it's going to give you the most emotional payout. Yeah, we have the six of Wands, which is self-recognition. This is Leo energy. This is like this with the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands. That's this energy here. That's like, I'm a boss. I am the master of my universe. I have the power, right? Which is, he takes that sword, right? I have the power. He-Man, masters of the universe. Which is like taking the sword and the stone, right? It's becoming the master of your own destiny. It's getting balance, and it's a decision, right? Then you can be the Knight of Swords. You can charge forward on your own divine path. We have the Four of Swords twice here. So meditation is very important. Rest is very important. right? Sitting with those uncomfortable things in your earth, in your water energy, sitting with that feminine energy, that introspective, working on the environment versus the environment, right? Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands. See, there's that. You have to be your own savior. You have to be your own white knight, right? And so, yeah, I feel like there's something with moving, something with leaving, something with starting anew, right? There's always an ending and a beginning with the Fool, with death energy, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune, right? If you're waiting for your fortune to come in, if you're waiting for somebody else to help you, if you're waiting, you know, divine timing is all about waiting to receive. It's trusting. It's not completely inactive, though. It's not like you're just sitting there like on the stoop waiting for your divine counterpart to come to your doorstep. There are steps you can take, right? Maybe opening up to dating again, right? But if you haven't seen the video, I did a video about why you should be single for a year before union, according to tarot. There might be some important information in there for you, very helpful information about tapping into each of the major arcana and what a year can really do for you. The year is the trickiest, the first year is the trickiest time period in a new relationship, right? If you can make it through the first year, and then when you move in together, if you can make it through the first year, like a year is, also it won't matter in a year. Like if it doesn't matter in a year, let it go, right? It's not gonna matter in a year. So many things don't matter in a year, or they shift and they're just less important. Or you get better perspective, right? You get better perspective when you kind of are in this hanged man energy. Maybe you have Pisces in your chart, but if you come into this hanged man energy of looking at your environment with a new set of eyes, a new perspective, it's like, come back to it in a year, right? If you're fixated on somebody, I guarantee you, a year from now, if you don't speak to them, if you don't give them energy, because we often misinterpret the energy that we give to others as energy that we're actually receiving, right? We ask a lot of questions, we tell our life story, we're talking to other people, and we're like, wow, this is so great. And this is very narcissistic individuals and manipulative individuals will do this. They will absorb that, they will take that, and they will use it to go, oh, well, you told me everything about yourself. And so they will start to be like, they'll start to use it against you, either by saying, like, relating to it, right? Making up stories or finding things in their past that they can go, oh yeah, me too. And then you're like, oh my God, we're so much alike. Or they'll let you answer a question first, right? You may ask a question to somebody and then they're like, well, what do you think? And you answer first and then they're like, yeah, me too. Oh yeah, me too. And you're like, oh my God, we're so aligned. They're so perfect for me. Ooh. Because you believe in the best in people and you believe that no one would really be out to hurt you because you've gotten to this idealistic, romanticized energy, which is Piscean energy as well. With the Tower and the Chariot. Yeah, I feel like you need to leave that, right? It kind of looks like a UFO, like in Independence Day. Independence. I think you need to get into a more independent energy. I think you've been in something that's very codependent for a while. And it's time to go. It's time to move, right? With the Wheel of Fortune and with manifestations, it's like ordering something, but you have to still pay you're gonna have to pay the check at the end, right? You're gonna have to pay for it. There's going to have to be some sort of energetic output. You're going to be waiting for it to come. You're waiting to receive, but this is not you waiting on in particular person, right? Because if you're waiting for somebody who's not giving, who's not pursuing you, you're giving them energy. You're still giving them energy, and that's like paying for the check in advance, right? Or like DoorDash or Uber Eats or something, and then them never showing up, or them showing up with the wrong order, right? This is like, you need to confirm your order before you pay. Something with that. And so yeah, if you don't know what you're looking for because you haven't done the work on yourself, and you don't even know who you are or what you think, because your thoughts and your feelings and everything has been so manipulated and gaslit and neglected and abandoned and abused for so long, that's the work that needs to be done. You need to sit with yourself. The Chariot is active energy, but this individual follows their heart, the moon energy, right? And if you don't know what's unseen by going into the High Priestess, by going within, by being single, by sitting with yourself, by not giving energy to others, then you're not going, and not filling your own cup, then you're not going to know which way to go. You're going to be in that energy we were talking about earlier. You're going to be charging in that very masculine air and fire energy, which Cancer is a cardinal sign, right? They can also be emotionally avoidant and closed off because they're like a boiling pot of water, right? And they're the crab. So what happens when you mix a crab with boiling water, right? It's not good. Not good for the crab, that's for damn sure. So you're going to be charging in a way that is avoidant, right? It's like speeding down a highway and trying to see the flowers. You got to pull over, get out, right? Maybe be barefoot a little bit, right? You guys are the nudists of the zodiac, right? So yeah, maybe go outside and sunbathe. Maybe look at yourself in the mirror completely nude. And start affirming your own beauty, your own divine femininity. Whether you're masculine or feminine, doesn't matter, right? You need to acknowledge and honor the beautiful things about you, because if you're feeling any blockages, and you're not going to be able to come into the Six of Wands energy, which makes you the charioteer. It makes you the gladiator of your own life, of your own arena, right? And arenas are like, they're acoustically designed to reverberate information and sound within that space, right? And that's like being in a cone of silence, being within, and allowing all this stuff that you've been pouring out, all of this stuff that you've been projecting, right? With this projector, it's like you've been projecting all of your wants, desires, and needs onto others, and idealizing them, and imagining them as your person because you've had these fantasies about them, because you've seen something in them, or they've claimed to be like you, or have experienced things like you, or understand you. If you were abandoned, or if you have a paternal rift there, you could be chasing after masculine energy, but what are you going to be? You're just going to be attracting runners, right? I've already said that. But yeah, somebody is, and now this like page, this was the confirmation here, and we had 2 4 of Swords, right, which is 8, doing that self-work, right? 8 of Swords is a lot of chaos, right? It's really blocking to the crown, it's really blocking to the third. It's just too much thought, too much communication, and not enough reciprocation because it's not balanced, even though 8 is an even number. It's a cycle. It's that infinity symbol of just analyzing, anxiety, overthinking, oversharing. It's like you're pleading for this chariot to come in and get you, this white knight, this savior, right? It's like, I always get choked up in movies where somebody gets saved, where the helicopter comes in to save the people who are stranded, and it's like, and in that show, The Killing, the unaliving. No, don't fucking let anybody censor your words. Freedom of speech here. And so if you feel like you have to censor yourself, if you feel like you have to speak like walking on eggshells or change the way that you express yourself around people, that's not for you. That seems kind of obvious, but many of us will over-explain or try to change the way that we speak so that somebody else feels more comfortable in our presence. You need to come into this Queen of Wands, like, it's like doing the fuck you yoga, right? It's what love and light, bitches, okay? But I'm gonna do me, right? I'm gonna do for me, right? Being your own savior, being your own protector, and protecting this space that you've worked really hard on. If you've already been single for a long time, then this is just a reminder to really protect that, safeguard that. And you may have to return to this place, right? Therapy is ongoing. You may have accessed and healed wounds, but it's just like a surgery post-op. You have to still go to like occupational therapy, physical therapy. There's still a need to check in, right? Because you're gonna have new triggers, and the biggest trigger of all is gonna be this full. It's coming into a place where you take that leap of faith out of the old and into something new. And so if you're manifesting, or if you're leaping out of fear to escape, to evade, you're gonna get bit by this, I don't know what kind of fish this is. It looks like a carp. A cannibalistic carp. But in the show The Killing, there is a line that really hit me, where the detective's son is like missing, and the other detective says, she's going, why would he leave? Why would he run away? Why did you run away when you were younger? And he says, sometimes we run away because we want to be found, like, and so it feels like you are avoiding things, and you're maybe in this reclusive state because you're hoping a very particular person is going to come and save you, right? But they're not, right? They're not. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself, and use that masculine energy to be your own protector, to safeguard what you've worked for and what you've earned, right? And that's when, the moment that we have that test, right? When you're trying to manifest new love, when you're trying to manifest abundance, a change, a new cycle, the universe is always going to send an old cycle in. An old cycle is always going to be attracted to you because they're sensing that you are now the runner. You're not running away from anybody. You're not doing the silent treatment. You are just on your path, and that becomes a threat to lower vibrations, to demonic and devil-like energy, right? Yeah. 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, again. Self-recognition. So meditation, 6 of Wands, self-recognition, launching something for yourself that you believe in, making moves. You have to put in a little bit of, you have to prove on a level of frequency, on an energetic level, to the universe that you are willing to do the work for this thing that you've manifested. If you're still chasing other people and giving energy to other people, knowing they're not your person, knowing through evidence, through experience that they are not your person, then what you're telling the universe is like, I want this thing, but I want it to come in. I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want to have it, but still be attached to the past. If you can be a balloon, but if you're tethered to the ground, you're not going anywhere, right? You got to cut that string. That's very much the Queen of Swords is the one who says, nah. They're just in an observational place. You're going to get a lot of offers, right? That Seven of Cups energy. But this is Nine of Pentacles. This is pre-Empress energy. This is Earth energy. This is coming into a place of independence and creating abundance in the space that you're in. So if you're feeling lack and you're trying to manifest abundance from a place of lack, you're only going to attract more lack. So less abundance, right? Tomato, tomato. And so this is you manifest. The only way that you don't create a place of happiness, right? You can only create from one. So gratitude is important, right? And then it won't matter if you uncross your arms, if you open your heart. If you're open from a place of gratitude, you're going to attract abundance. You're going to attract confirmation. You're blocked from moving forward. You're blocked from, this is something that you've been contemplating for a long time. I think that you've been putting a lot of power in the hands of somebody else. Your sword has been locked in a stone, ball and chain. You could be married and needing to leave a marriage. If you're trying to manifest a divine union, but you are still in a connection, that is black magic. You're only going to attract more of that. So knock it off. Strength and Ace of Cups. Yeah, filling your cup, it's going to take a lot of strength. It takes the most strength to stay the course. The divine path is not for the faint of heart, right? So temperance, strengthen your heart. You have justice, you at the end of this reading with the Ten of Pentacles. Your divine person is coming in here, but you have to put them to rest. This entity, right? I get this entity, like this otherworldly sense, right? It's from your past, but it's in every connection. It's in every move you've made, every work, place of work. It's in your, it's in your career. It's in your every element. This demonic entity, it's in every friendship, it's in every love connection, it's in your thoughts, it's everywhere, it's in you. God lives in you, and so does the devil. And the closer you get to God, the closer the devil gets on your heels, right? Just before you take this leap of faith, the devil is going to come in and go, you sure? It's so much easier back here. It's so much easier to stay. You sure you want to jump? What if the water's not deep enough? Right? Justice is balance. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the karmic balance coming together. You have to clear the old karma. You have to clear the karma of your parents, their ancestors, and so on. They're all your ancestors. You are the culmination genetically of all of those people. So all of their charts are in you. All their stardust is in you. They made you, but you also are otherworldly. You are celestial. You are also made up of your own stuff, and that stuff has the power to shift and change and break this cycle that you were placed into. And it is like putting an order in. You ordered this. You wanted this. You were like, yeah, I'm up to the challenge, and now the universe is like, are you sure? Are you sure? Right? You are. You are up to the challenge. You can say goodbye to this. You can let it go. Let go. Have the breakdown. Sit with the discomfort. That's temperance. Sitting with the discomfort. Creating comfort out of discomfort. Challenging your ego. Challenging your lower vibrations to raise up. Right? To level up so that you can attract somebody who is also going to reciprocate, right? They're going to be asking questions. They're going to be asking you, what you feel, what you like, what's your favorite ice cream, your favorite movie, what's your favorite song. They're going to be asking you these things because they want to know about you. You're not going to be the only person doing these things and pouring into it. This is balance. This is two people that came from Five of Pentacles, that came from a place of lack, a place of deception, a place of heartbreak, a place of instability, and they have worked their asses off to get to a place of abundance, to attract somebody else who is like-minded, like-hearted, and they're going to come in with that IQ, that EQ, and they meet with that MQ, right? International. Maybe they're coming from abroad, but maybe it's going to be an interracial, international, something. It's an intersection of two people seemingly different, right, from different worlds, but they are at their core, their moral quotient, the MQ, right? So you might have a higher EQ, emotional quotient, and not feel that intelligence quotient, right? That intellectual abundance. You might be feeling like you're stupid, but you feel so much. And so it's like you've masked and you've created the shell around your emotions because you were told that those were stupid. The way that you feel is stupid. The way that you think is stupid, right? It doesn't matter. You don't matter. Well, you fucking matter. All right? And so, yeah, this is like, maybe you need to sage your place, and meditate. You know, I mean, however meditation works for you. Maybe laying down outside in the sun, right? The sun will help bring clarity to this moon energy, this darkness. Maybe sitting in the dark, maybe sitting with that fear of being in the dark, being alone, being solitary, right? When you're on the divine path, you're going to feel alone and alienated a lot of the times, but you're never alone, right? Because you are your own best friend, right? So if you've been asking questions of other people, if you've been studying other people, right, and it's gotten you nowhere, try studying yourself. Try asking yourself those questions, right? Journaling, I feel like, is going to be important for you. Gratitude journal, dream journal, really studying yourself like you're going back to school, to prove to dad I'm not a fool. I feel like your dad might have been a little bit of a prick. Emotionally withholding, abandonment issues, right? Maybe a masculine mother, but I feel like there's a paternal issue here. You're not the fool, so, but you are the fool, right? You want to be the fool. You want to be the fool in love. You just don't want to be made a fool of. But the Wheel of Fortune's coming, 10 of Pentacles are coming, but it's all here. You've got this tower, you've got this challenge to come. Right? If you're the alien, then the mothership is within you. You can create this tower. You can call this in. You're calling in this ending. And if you don't, the universe will do it for you, and that is very uncomfortable. The Sun and the Magician. I was going to leave it at Justice, but yeah, the Sun and the Magician. You're becoming your own illumination, right? You can blast this out and see they're dancing. That's the Lover's energy, Gemini energy, twin flame energy. This is you and your companion dancing in the sun. They're nude, right? They're just playing in the sun. So get out in the sun, get in some water, maybe go to the beach, get back into nature, get back into your divine terrestrial energy. Tap into the four elements, right? So that you can open up to the fifth element. Tap into the five senses so you can open up to the sixth sense, the crown and beyond. See, this new cycle is waiting in your crown chakra. So work here in the throat chakra, mercurial endings. We got Mars energy here, right, with the Tower, Scorpio, and Aries a couple times. So hopefully there is something in here for you. It seems like it's a long way away, but it's right around the corner, right? The Star comes after the Devil. The Fool is 0. It's the fresh start. So but you have to end it. You have to bring an ending to this. Tap into your strength. Tap into that heart chakra, that Leo energy that you have. Maybe you have Leo in your chart. If not, study up on it, right? If you're listening to other readings and you're getting a lot of synchronicities, same major arcana, right? This is major arcana. There's some minors in here, but there's the foundation of this is major, which means it's unavoidable. It's happening. It's coming. All right. But divine timing is based on your willingness to let go of the past. So if you want a divine union and you're waiting on divine timing, it's time to activate. It's time to find out what direction you're really going in and to take those steps. Take the steps on the path that you've been planning, that you have the blueprint for, right? You planned this out before you even incarnated. This is what you agreed to. This is the order you placed. So it's like you're the Grubhub person, you're the Uber Eats driver, right? You know what you ordered, so why do you keep delivering the wrong fucking order? You are the master of your universe. All right, I hope there was something in here for you. I'll be checking in with some briefer next in love readings for those signs. I have one more to do, and that's Gemini, and then I will see you guys soon. If you want to follow me on Instagram, same name, Vegan Terrorist. There's some stuff over there, random stuff over there. You might find something over there. I feel like you guys are looking for signs and synchronicities, new signs, new synchronicities. So, yeah, go within. I feel like that was an exhausting reading, and like it's not maybe what you wanted to hear, but if you've stayed this long, then you know you needed to hear it. You know that there is big stuff coming, right? But there's making that move, right? Right. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. I wanna, you know, I wanna charge in and help you guys out. But I can't because I don't know where you are. So, anyway, until next time, I wish you well.